Hey everybody. So it was very recently that I posted a video on this channel about a real serious issue with Microsoft forcing the use of a Microsoft account just to set up Windows 11. And that big issue, or one of the big issues, is the simple fact that the person setting up Windows 11 might not be the owner of the PC. Example A, let's say I get a computer for service, I'm reinstalling Windows on that computer for someone because maybe their SSD or hard drive failed, or the computer's slowed, or just wanting to have it wiped and start from scratch. That's a real problem when you don't have the option to create a local account just to set up the computer, because that ends up forcing the technician to have to log in with their Microsoft account just to get to the desktop, so that way they can later unlink the Microsoft account from the account and turn it back into a local account. Another scenario would be if, let's say, the computer technician is setting up a PC to be sold. Let's say they're refurbishing computers and they're currently installing Windows 11 on that computer. There should always be the option for the local account, so that way the computer can be set up without having to be, synced to an online cloud account. Because this morning I got a phone call from a friend. She has a nearby neighbor who is, I think, a senior citizen, not very knowledgeable on technology, but relies on her computer to do a lot of stuff. And she more or less had I think they were a technician friend or family member or someone she knew, who she trusted, to set her up with a computer. Supposedly he bought the PC, a refurbished PC, from a local place that sells refurbished computers. Of course, not me. But he bought it from a local PC reseller, and I guess this person did not know the workarounds on getting around the Microsoft account thing in Windows 11. Because what happened was, this lady was mentioning about how suddenly she started seeing pop-ups in her web browser for a different email address. And she said she normally used Chrome, but then she switched over to Edge. It was really a really long story. I mean, I spent like 5 minutes just trying to process everything she had mentioned. But she mentioned about using Edge after having some issue with Chrome, and it popped up with sign information for an email address of the technician. And then the computer, for some reason, begun prompting for a password to a given email address at the login screen in Windows. So I'm thinking myself, either A, this computer was set up with a Microsoft account that's not belonging to this lady, or B, the technician had to use a Microsoft account to log into the dang computer for the first time, and he thought he unlinked it from the Microsoft account and then changed it over to a different Microsoft account that's owned by the lady who owns this computer. So more or less, the fact that the technician obviously had logged in with a Microsoft account is causing problems for the customer. See, this is why Microsoft needs to freaking get it together and understand that there are legit reasons to not connect to the internet when you're setting up the PC, and most importantly, to not have to set up with a Microsoft account. There should be the option for a local account. I mean, here I am hearing stories from a customer of another technician that their computer is suddenly asking them to sign in to a Microsoft account synced to an email address that's not theirs. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. I do think possibly that computer's Chrome browser might be suffering from possibly a browser hijack, because she did mention something about getting fake virus warning pops up. She realized it was a scam, and that's good for her. I'm glad she realized it was a scam and didn't fall for it. But yeah, I know it's kind of random, but I did want to share this because, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that I posted that video to YouTube, and then here I am hearing stories already from the negative effects of Microsoft forcing Microsoft accounts on Windows 11. Now, of course, I know ways to get around the Microsoft account requirement, and I explained to the lady that perhaps maybe the person working on a computer was not aware of this workaround, because let me tell you, Microsoft's making it more and more difficult. Probably the way I get around Microsoft account requirement on Windows 11 so easily is the fact that I use Rufus to set up my installation media. But this technician bought this computer from a reseller who had already clean installed Windows 11 on the computer. And the thing is, once you set up an account on the computer, it's really difficult to get around the whole Microsoft account requirement. Now, there is one way, now at least I think this still works. I can't say for sure if it does or not, and that is to disconnect from the internet when you go to set up a new account, because otherwise it will try to force you into the Microsoft account creation prompt. I mean, in other words, you can't get around it. And Microsoft, you need to get your act together and stop forcing Microsoft accounts. And what I had read online is even Apple products, you don't have to use an Apple account to access the device. Yes, you'll be missing out on some features because those features require use of the Apple account, but you can still access that device and set it up. Microsoft, get it together. There is still a reason for the local account. So, anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.